So here we go. The Women's Six Nations is back for another year. And just a good thing with Women's Six Nations, it follows straight on from the Men's Six Nations. So there's no respite, and in terms of fantasy, we get to play another fantasy game. And for me, I love it. One thing to note, however, the point system is going to be the same as the Men's Six Nations for this year. So no line breaks, not great meters carried. So it's going to be predominantly back rows and probably 10s who are going to be your consistent performers. Most of the teams are out, apart from Italy at the time of recording, so they'll be shown on screen now. If you are new to Women's Six Nations, then here's a few tips about the teams. So England are pretty much number one in the world. They fight it off with France for the Six Nations, and obviously last year England prevailed. So I'd definitely be targeting England and French players, especially when they're at home. Italy are probably the third strongest team in this as well, and unfortunately they're playing England at home this weekend. From there on, I'd say Wales and Scotland probably battle it out for fourth place, and then from previous experience, Ireland are a bit lacklustre. So if you are going to be following the Women's Six Nations and are going to be competing, join my league down below, the link is in the description, and subscribe to the channel. So to kick it off in the front row, I've gone with Guy from Italy, who is yet to be announced, so we'll have to see there, but from previous experience, really decent. And I've also gone with Atkin Davis and also Tui Pelotu. Atkin Davis has been an absolute menace for England. England really do kind of play the way the men's team do. So up front are really physical, but then rolling mauls for England are decent. And Davis gets on the back of those and scores plenty of tries. Similar to Tui Pelotu, really physical, plays kind of like an 8, even though she's a prop. So definitely look out for her, strong carrying ability, and gets Wales over the gain line super well. In the second row, I've gone with Italy captain Tunezi. Before in the game, she obviously plays in the second row / back row to be fair, but I think last year she was down as a prop, so it was a huge benefit of having her, well, down as a prop in fantasy, but she would play second row, back row. But this time she's actually a second row, so I definitely recommend her up against England, who are probably going to have lots of the ball. She's going to tackle her socks off, so look out for that Italy captain. And then John at the other second row. Reason why I've gone for her, Wales, Scotland, I presume it's going to be a pretty close game, but Wales and Cardiff always seem to perform. John is also starting, and I think she's like the cheapest second row, so in terms of budget, really good option. Then to the back row, where I have captained Marley Packer. So Marley Packer, kind of similar to Benno, right? Especially with the new point system. Carries the ball so hard, is probably England's main ball carrying outlet, but also Jacqueline and tackling is what she does on the regular. And if Italy are to get the ball, which they definitely can do, decent team, then Marley Packer will be there to shut it down. Captain as well, so I think in this new point system, back rows are just going to prevail. And I remember, I think it was last year, the first game of the Six Nations, she scored 3 tries. Absolutely insane. From there, I've gone with 2 ball-carrying 8s. So Ménager for France is my 8. She's going to carry super hard. Also up against Ireland at home, so probably one of the weakest teams. I'm hoping France can do the job there. And then I've gone Evie Gallagher, who is Scotland's 8. Really destructive ball carrier, and if they are going to upset Wales and Cardiff, then they're going to have to do it up front, which I think they definitely can do. And now for the halfbacks, I've gone with Sansus and Harrison. So Sansus, a bit like Dupont really, especially when I was playing the game last year. She would score mental points, but also pick up assists and tries like nobody's business. And especially French flair, they're at home against Ireland. I think this is a match made in heaven. Zoe Harrison, also playing 10 for England. Unfortunately, no face, which is a bit disappointing. But 10 for England means you're going to distribute, pull the forwards where you want them, but also I'm hoping a lot of assists. England are going to want to come out firing, retain their title, and I think Harrison pulled the strings to do that. Then for the centres, so I definitely could have picked like Vernier, Scarrett, who are really expensive, but I had to kind of put budget to front of mind because I just didn't have enough. So I have gone with Thompson from Scotland, who's playing in the centre. Again, like I said, they're going to have to bring it up front with Wales and Cardiff, and I'm hoping they can do that. But also with George for Wales, she's actually playing 10 and super cheap. I think she's like 10 stars. So hoping she kicks as she's 10 and hoping they get some good points. Because as we saw in the Men's Six Nations, kickers seem to get you pretty decent points. Then for the back three, I've gone all out really. So Boulard for France, super good. I think she's playing 15. Kildan as well, playing 15 for England, absolutely insane. And then I've gone for Grant for Scotland. So she's come in for Rolly, who is pretty much Scotland's best player. She's actually on the bench, so definitely a good super sub option if you've got the budget. But this back three, I think they're going to do the business. Super good, quick feet. Don't get you too much points, as we saw from the Men's Six Nations, but I'm hoping good fixtures with France against Ireland and obviously England against Italy. Then finally, my super sub. So I have withheld a French player to put on the bench, and that's going to be Gross. So she's a back row player, I think predominantly an 8. Ménager can also play anywhere on the back row, so I'm hoping one of the other back rows gets swapped, because obviously I want Ménager to be on the pitch as long as possible. But I just couldn't ignore the France versus Ireland fixture, especially first game of the Six Nations. France are home, pretty strong team against what I would say would be a weak Ireland side. So I'm hoping she can come on, get lots of carries, and hopefully an assist or a try or two. So that is my initial team for the Women's Six Nations. Appreciate it's on a Friday, but the teams did only come out yesterday. So I'm hoping to give you enough time to pick your teams, but also do some deliberating as well. As I said, other options, maybe for captain, would be, well, look at England players. Zoe Harrison could be a good captain, but Holly Aitchison is on the bench, and she also does play 10, might get taken off. Ellie Kildan as well, absolutely insane. Boulard, I would say, a good captain option, but Marley Packer, she's just going to carry and tackle all game, and a serial try scorer. Other super sub options, I said Rolly earlier in the video, for Scotland, a back 3 player. But yeah, also Aitchison, right? I think she's 18 stars, which is super expensive, but she's going to come on probably in that 10 spot and going to kick, get good points, a bit like Marcus Smith, so have a look out. But thanks all for watching. Hopefully you're involved and in the league, and I'll see you all in the next one.